school back during like quarantine and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we were reading, was it? I forgot the name, but it was a banned book, and I was like, we're like, oh my God, why was it banned and whatnot?
Right. And they're like banning so many books in different places.
Yes. And when we were like doing research for the questions, that was one of the information that I put down, because it's like, what's some stuff that's happening in the world? I was like, well, they're banning a whole bunch of books, and I was like, they banned this from classrooms, you know?
Yes, they have. And one of the things is like they were very vocal. Like folks were very vocal last year and the year before about books that they were banning, and now it's happening really silently too. So we don't even know what books aren't being banned in some places, which is really scary to me. Like, tell me my book's banned so I know, so I can get them in the community. But if you don't, like, if I don't know that it's not being put, that it's being silently taken off the shelves, or it's not going into classrooms, like, that feels scarier to me. And there's so many amazing books that are being banned just because of who the authors are, what their identities are, what they're writing about. Pretty much like any book by a Black author, any book by a gay, queer, trans author. Like, what's left? Like, we have Little House on the Prairie, which is filled with stereotypes too. So, yeah, stinks.
Were you upset when you found out about that?
I was at first, and then I started talking to other authors, like local authors, like Jarrett Krasaska and Mike Curato and Grace Lynn, whose books are also banned. And we were just like, this really, like, it breaks my heart a little bit every time. But then I'm also like, there are incredible people who are fighting for books to be in hands and to get to kids. And it means, you know, it's not a positive thing to have a book banned, but it also means that, so our country, like a lot of white folks in our country, really are fearful of things, and so it means that, like, we're doing something, you know, like folks your age are reading these books because you're like, we need to know, and you're going to read books no matter what, and the adults are fearful, which stinks, but also have so much like faith in like the young folks rising up and doing what y'all need to do. And I'm kind of like, okay, you know, as soon as you take something away from somebody, they're gonna be like, wait, why, and what is this? And I trust kids, and so a lot of adults don't. That's the other thing. But it stinks. Especially when you get an email and it's like, your book was banned in this part of Texas today. Because I have like Google alerts, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then you like, one of the things I like to do is like go to Google search, like, what bookstores in the area? Okay, can I buy a couple of books, and can they be distributed to different people? Like, I remember Jason Reynolds a couple of years ago, like, bought all of his books at a bookstore and then like put it out on social media and was like, go to the store and get my books, because they're free. And that's like, that helps sometimes. Yeah,
it sucks to hear, because the book was really good. Like,
Thank you.
I read it, and because like me and my whole team read like different sections, and I really like the identity part, because a lot of kids do really struggle to find their identity, especially at a young age. And you know, sometimes their parents aren't helps, and like also being in school surrounded by a whole bunch of kids, it doesn't make it easier. It makes them even more, it makes it harder for them to find themselves. So I thought it was like a good book to help them like navigate and like find who they really are and understand who they are and come to terms with them. You know?
Thank you. That's like, the identity piece is my favorite thing to do in schools too. I've been doing that in the Northampton schools. We got a grant for me to do it in all the elementary schools, and it's been so fun to get to know all of the kids and be in all the classrooms, but to do the identity work and then have kids like 5 years old talking about who they are and feeling like it just being like a smooth conversation, not just like, you know, like whatever. It's been really cool. So I love that you love that section. Thank you.